Hello, YouTubers. Ted here in beautiful Côte St. Luc, Canada. I thought I would talk about my diamond farm in Forge of Empires this week. I don't talk about my diamond farm too often. This is what I described to a fellow guildmate recently as a mature diamond farm, meaning I have filled a lot of my city with wishing wells, little wishing wells, because they take up less space, and little fountains of youth. These are the two main buildings that generate diamonds. You can see here in the readout that they have a 1% chance per day of generating 50 diamonds. So therefore, on average, they create zero point 0.5 of a diamond per day. I have 128, I believe, if I have counted correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, I have 128 of these little wishing wells or little fountains of youth. And therefore, on average, this diamond farm is generating on average 64 diamonds per day, or 420 some per week, or 20,000 some per year. This has been under development for a long time, maybe 5 years. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I started this diamond farm not so much as a diamond farm originally, but as a way of experiencing the fighting side of the game. Because originally, when I was playing, my main city, I would fight occasionally, but I was mainly focused on farming. Now I have a totally different city that does only farming. My main city is a fairly traditional city where I fight and do whatever. And this one has become a diamond farm. If you're not familiar with Forge of Empires, diamonds are one of the numerous different types of currencies or goods or so on that you can acquire. But it's the only one that's shared among all your different cities. So all these other things, the quantum metals and regular metals and supplies and coins and goods and all the buildings you get and everything are specific to this city. But the diamonds and diamonds only are shareable among all your cities. So this city generates diamonds, and then I use those diamonds primarily in my other cities, although I haven't been using them terribly much lately because I've used almost all of my diamond expansions in the main city, and I haven't started to use them in my smaller farming city yet. Anyway, so that's my wishing wells and fountains of youth, and I continue to get more of these buildings. It would be hard to build up, harder to build up such a city today, because the game has made it harder to collect these buildings. And in fact, if you don't want to go all the trouble of building such a city like this, you can pay for diamonds. They've made it harder to collect little fountains of youth and wishing wells because they want to sell you diamonds. I shouldn't have clicked on that. I should have clicked on this. So you can buy diamonds for $100. You can get 10,000 diamonds. Or sometimes they'll have a sale where you get 30,000 diamonds for $100. So if you wanted to save yourself a year or a year and a half or so of playing every day and just pay $100 to get those diamonds, that would be not unreasonable. That's not what I do, though. So I'll mention a couple other updates. This city has been parked in the future era for a long time. I like the future era. It has hover tanks, which are a nice attacking unit. The wildlife event ended recently. Sorry, let me finish my thought on the future. I may continue to stay in the future forever. I have been somewhat contemplating starting to go through these other eras: Arctic future, Oceanic future, virtual future, largely because when you do that, you get more expansions. I can look here for an expansion, like here. So that gives you one more, well, 4x4 really, city square, like one of these things. And there's usually a couple or sometimes more of those per era. And so that would allow me to place down more Fountains of Youth and Wishing Wells when I collect them. But I haven't decided yet if I want to do that. What I am doing also in the meantime is I'm fighting my way through the continent maps for those more advanced eras. So on the continent map here, I'm in the oceanic future already, which is 2 eras ahead of where my city actually is. And I'm fighting my way through all these eras just because I want to capture. Where is the oceanic area? I don't even know where to click. That's where I am. I fought through all these eras because I wanted to collect some of these expansions here. In the Arctic, I did the same thing. I fought through the Arctic. I have enough battle bonuses that I can quite easily defeat Arctic era or Oceanic future era units with my regular old future era units. And I'm sure I could keep going into the virtual future and possibly beyond. I don't know. Actually, I'm not 100% sure if you get access to. I'm not 100% sure if you get access to the continent maps for these space ages until you reach those space ages. Anyhow, the other thing I'll say is that the wildlife event ended recently, and that was quite a big event for this city because I added 6 Serene Eagle Mountains to my city. The Serene Eagle Mountains give me 2 main benefits. One, they give it a 15%. You can see there with that red crossed swords and shield and little fist, 15% attack and defense for my army in Quantum Incursion, and they also give me 200 extra action units per hour in Quantum Incursion. So both of those, I mean, the fighting units allow me to fight more successfully, more easily, and the extra recharges allow me to fight more over the course of the 10-day event. So if I go here, this is Quantum Incursion. And if we look at the leaderboard here, you can see I'm actually on top of the leaderboard. I've done more actions, more progress than anybody else. And the reason for that is because I have those extra things in my city generating extra of what is it called? Yeah, quantum actions here. So if I hover for a second, I think, no, what do I have to do? Yeah, 6,900 quantum actions. I forget what it starts at, but 1,200 of those are because of those extra buildings that I put in my main city. So that's been helpful for my Quantum Incursion performance. You can see it's helping me fight a lot, collect a lot of these lunar coins. I started the 10-day cycle at around 20,000. So far I've generated almost 70,000 lunar coins so far. I'll probably end up closer to 80,000 or maybe even 90,000 lunar coins for the 10-day cycle, which I use to buy Neo Bazaar stuff. So if I go back to the main city, the other main point I'll talk about is my Neo Bazaars. Neo Bazaars are this relatively new building which came in fall 2025, I believe, as part of the Quantum Incursion, and they give you terrific bonuses. So even a plain level 8 one gives you, let me just wait till it cycles around again, 153% attack and defense for both attacking and defending, that is red and blue armies. Not in Quantum Incursion, but in every other aspect of the game. So when you're fighting on the continent map, or if you're fighting in player versus player, or if you're fighting in the guild expedition, or guild battleground, in all those places you get that bonus. It also generates some nice forge points for you and goods for you and stuff, and units. That's the plain, so to speak, level 8 one. And then if you upgrade it to silver level, you get even more bonus, 244% attack and defense, and more goods and more forge points. And it also, you have 2 options. The silver upgrade, you can either specialize the building to give you an yet extra further bonus in Guild Battleground, or in Guild Expedition. And I, in this world, have been selecting Guild Expedition bonus. So you see there the plus 233%. That means in total, this building is generating 244 plus 233, in other words, 477 attack and defense bonus for my armies in Guild Expedition specifically. And then the gold level one is even more, 275 and 373. So that's what, 650, yeah, but roughly 650, 648 attack and defense bonus for my armies in Guild Expedition. And even in other aspects of the game, it has that plus 275. So these are a wonderful building. And most of my focus in this world, besides just coming in daily and collecting these things, is doing QI, because in QI, I can get the lunar coins, which gets me these really awesome buildings. And then these awesome buildings help me, in turn, everywhere else in the game, including in Guild Expedition. So the main other thing I do in this world is I go through Guild Expedition every week. I've finished it now, so there's not a lot you can look at. But there's 5 different screens like this, and each screen has 16 battles or negotiations that you can do, and they come with various rewards along the way. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say about my diamond farm. Everything is going well. Like I said, I am contemplating sometime in the future maybe going up another era or 2 or 3 just to get the land expansions, and so I could place down more of these diamond generating things. I've also, the city continues to progress. I've passed 100 million points recently, and I'm sort of slowly raising up all these buildings, but I really don't try very hard at that. So, for example, I'll just as often donate forge points to other people's buildings and let them accumulate in my store here. And for example, I've never even bothered to plant, what's that temple thing that you get from, the Forgotten Temple. I've never bothered to plant a Forgotten Temple. You get these pieces from the Guild Expedition. If I did plant a Forgotten Temple, I'll just create one here. I don't know if the time runs down while it's not planted, but it would give me, various bonuses, including some plus bonuses. Actually, I'd forgotten about those quantum incursion bonuses. Maybe I should plant this thing. It gives me quantum incursion bonuses, and it gives a 20% forge point collection. But I just haven't bothered because I don't know. Because who cares? I don't really care about what my score is in this world. Maybe I'll plant one and see how it is. If it makes quantum incursion easier. Okay, I don't have a place to put it right now. I've got these Bronze Age goods producing buildings here for no special good reason. I just wanted to generate some ancient goods for fun. Well, maybe I'll come back and do that. I'll do it now. I've got plenty of these things. Let me just cancel this, even though I'm nearly done with it, and sell that building off. And then I'll plant my, where did it go? Here we go. Plant this. Yeah, I'm most interested in the attack and defense bonus for QI, but 20% for more forge points, sure, that's good too. So that's my diamond farm. I only talk about it about once or twice a year, so don't expect to see it soon. But they're a useful thing in Forge of Empires to have a city that's specialized in generating diamonds to help your other cities. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for watching.